I have been teaching the out-of-body experience for more than 30 years and studying all of the different phenomena and consequences of this specific experience. And today, in the Consciousness Development Program class, for the first time, I was asked a specific question. Nancy, how do you know when you are close to leaving the body and what you should do? And that was interesting. I had to think about it. How do I know? I get to a point in which I'm not feeling anymore the physical body, or I feel very, very faintly. But I have a very clear sensation of the energetic dimension around, the energy flow of my energy body, my chakras, and the astral dimension that is there in the environment I'm in. At that point, I know I am close to leaving the body. I feel like waves or movements, and the sensations I have are no longer the regular sensations of the physical body. I don't feel the breathing. Breathing is not part of my thoughts or even cross my mind at that moment, because I am completely into the swaying and moving and energetic waves. Sometimes I feel like movements, sometimes I feel like rocking. What is very important is that I have a very clear impression of the non-physical dimensions around, perceiving this multi-dimensional reality in a way that physical reality becomes not even secondary, it's tertiary. It's almost something in the background of my mind. That is the moment that I know I'm close to leaving the body. What do I do? I stay calm, wait, and let this process intensify. If you have my book that is Astral Projection, a primer, by the way, if you go to my website, I am offering it for free temporarily. Over there, I explain a lot about this, because this in itself is a technique, and is the technique I use the most. The more I get into this connection, almost like a rapport, a coupling with the non-physical reality in a much higher level than with the physical reality. I cannot be thinking or distracted or worried about physical chores or issues, and I will then see how close I am to leaving the body. Sometimes I know it's just a matter of waiting for a bit, but sometimes all of the sensation is there, but the disconnection doesn't happen as soon as I would expect, or as easily as I would expect. If the energy body, is very fluid, very malleable, it's so much easier. That's why what we do when we are teaching the out-of-body experience, I say we at the International Academy of Consciousness because I teach for the IEC, but what we do is explaining how to put our energy body in the right condition, because the energy body creates a sort of energetic interface between the physical and the astral body. The more prepared the energy body is, prepared meaning flexible enough with no blockage and different aspects there that we have to take into consideration, the faster and more lucid we will be able to see the separation from the physical body. And then when I notice it is there but not ideal yet, it will probably take very long to leave the body, sometimes so long that we end up falling asleep before we detach from the bodies. And then what do? I use some sort of technique that has to be appropriate to that specific condition I am. I will verify, am I relaxed enough? Do I have my energies loosened enough? Is my concentration proper? Am I in the threshold of falling asleep? Am I in the hypnagogic state? It's not a thinking that I keep processing, because if it is, we don't detach from the body. But it's something that I got so used to recognizing that it's almost like a second nature, it's automatic. And you can also become as familiar with your sensations as that. It's just a matter of practicing the right techniques, the right strategy, in the right sequence. Typically in that moment, I will avoid techniques that bring my attention back to the physical dimension. So I'm not going to be using techniques of, for example, focusing on the sounds of the environment, this sort of thing, or breathing technique, not at all, or relaxation that I have to tense or concentrate on the muscles and on the different parts of the body. Those are not going to be effective. Why? Because for me, in my description, when I am close to leaving the body, I'm no longer sensing the body. It's pretty relaxed. And that has to be the number one thing. If you do not have good relaxation, you are going to struggle, and I am almost leaving the body, I'm having sensations, but the disconnection doesn't happen. Sometimes I will use a technique that is almost like a psychological conditioning of me visualizing. It's not so much visual, but creating the proper feeling in my mind that I would be floating higher. It's not pushing. If you're pushing, if you're intending too strongly, and you want, and you do that, no, you are not going to leave the body. You get further from leaving the body. On the contrary, what you are going to do is intend. Apply your will without pushing and without mental chatter. Because if you are in your mind like, am I relaxed enough? No, now I should do this procedure and now that procedure. No. All of these, ideally, for you to have great control whenever you want, you can leave your body. These aspects must become second nature. So you go and you focus and you just intend. Being, for example, on the side of your room, like on the corner, up there, and you will be looking back at yourself. Or you intend to see the environment through the ceiling, as if you are going to sneak your head out of the ceiling in that moment. So that's another thing you can do. You can also intend, for example, to be in a certain place that you have planned to visit. When I say place, it can be in the physical world, or it can be in the non-physical world. It doesn't matter. But how to pick a proper one that will make it easier for you to disconnect, because it changes a lot depending on what you are trying to reach. That will change the type of energetic connection that you do with that specific environment, with a sort of climate, egregore, information, energetic information that is there. All of these will affect the result, your success in being able to detach consciously from your body. So in my case, and I am telling you my case, I typically use a technique in which I just aim at being in a different position, because at that point everything is okay. I am relaxed, I am sensing the non-physical world. I may even be sensing some spiritual presences, in this case positive ones that are there to support me, but it's not so common that they would get close. They stay at a certain distance. But at this point, I am sensing sometimes some of those. If I am not, that is okay. If I sense anything negative, any negative presence, or something that is making me uncomfortable, I will have to work with energy before. Otherwise, we don't detach, we don't get out. So we need to work with energy before, so that we cleanse the area around. That's why I normally do that before trying to leave the body. But sometimes it just happened, the semi-disconnection and me noticing I am about to leave, and I observe something energetically speaking there. So I have to tackle that, almost like emitting my energy towards whatever is there that is not positive, so that I push it away. I push it away with firmness, with decision, but not with aggression. But it has to be firm. And then I push it away until I cleanse out the environment and I let it continue. So you see how delicate it is, because anything that takes us out of that precise balance may simply create a condition in which we end up returning to the body, coming back, which is what we want to avoid at that point. Any conscious projector will know that It's very easy for any small thing bring us back. It's very easy for us to just lose lucidity, like doze off, or dream-like images start coming. That is normal. If it happens to you, don't feel frustrated. But my thing here is, for you, how do you recognize when you are closer to leaving the body? What I described is for me. What about for you? What sort of sensation you have? Perhaps you have a vibrational state. Perhaps you start sensing like sounds that are not in the physical world. Perhaps you feel you are sinking in your bed instead of floating. All of those are possible sensations. None of them are negative. You have to be aware of the feeling that is behind that sensation, and not so much labeling. If this happens, this is positive. If this happens, this is negative. There is a general rule that I often try to discuss and explain, but you must be prepared to know in your case how you feel. Because once you recognize what are the signs for you that you are getting close, you will know what technique to apply. If you ask me, Nanci, how many OBE techniques exist? Many dozens of techniques, if not hundreds. There are strategies that we use in specific moments with specific purposes. You need to understand how it works so you apply the right one. Some people, for example, when they feel they are about to detach from their bodies, and I don't do that, but some people do, they push their astral body, like with the para arms, the arms of the astral body, they go and they push as if they were really trying to get out and pushing the physical body. It doesn't work for me. If I do that, I reconnect too much to the physical body and I re-enter completely. Velo is excellent, but if you are in the condition that I am, that I told you, I am connected with the spirit world there, with the astral dimension, and sensing the energies. If you are connected with that, then you do not want to do a velo at that moment, because velo will recenter your energy, will realign your chakras, and you are already starting to get detached from your body. But if you are there, stuck, so if I were there, trying to leave the body, but I was not feeling I was close to, therefore I would not be sensing these perspectives and sensations that I am telling you, I would most definitely do a velo technique, because velo for me, it relaxes me, it releases my energy, it helps me to be much more focused on myself, but also on the spiritual and energetic world around. So you have to see what works for you, but there is the right moment to apply each technique. That is bottom line what I want to tell you, and tell you, identify when you are closer to leaving the body, what sort of reactions and sensations you have. If you want to go into a very deep, profound, complete study about how the out-of-body experience happens, why, what exists beyond the physical dimension, what are the laws, like the laws of physics, the laws of the non-physical world of the astral dimension. How should you handle the experience so you become more lucid, you learn more? What connection the out-of-body experience has with your spiritual growth, with who you were in previous lives, with identifying what is the most important thing for you in this life, which is uniquely yours. Nobody should tell you. You know it inside of yourself. You leave the body, you can access that information. For all of these things, if you want something that guides you through that, I recommend the Consciousness Development Program, which is the class I was teaching here before. It's amazing, truly. Take a look, and if you do, I will be with you, classes here and there, the live classes, and I will be able to support you personally and other instructors of the IAC as well. But here, get the tips that I mentioned to you, learn with those subtle subtleties of the experience, because we cannot be rigid. I lie down, I do this technique, and this will happen. This may happen, but it may develop in different ways. Learn about it. Learn. And then you will gain control, and I promise you, you will be able to detach consciously from your body. You will be able to have wonderful adventures outside the body. I hope this inspires you to observe some of your experiences and have more and more wonderful astral projections. I hope to see you soon inside the body or outside the body. Goodbye. Thank you for being with me. Thanks.